First, I want to give my condolences to the Fitzgerald family for their loss. It's my sincere hope that this arrest will mark a clear steps in the right direction to effectuate justice. On Sunday, February 19th, at approximately 6 a.m., Lieutenant Marshman and Sergeant Jones of the Homicide Unit, along with the Homicide Fugitive Squad, United States Marshals, Delco SWAT team, executed an arrest warrant at Buckingham, PA. As a result of the arrest warrant, Miles Pfeiffer, an 18-year-old white male, was arrested for the murder of Temple University police officer Christopher Fitzgerald. His badge number is 2362. Officer Fitzgerald's handcuffs were placed on Pfeiffer, and he was transported to the homicide unit for questioning. What do we know? Officer Fitzgerald was in full uniform in a patrol vehicle when he observed 3 males on 1800 block of Montgomery Avenue. There have been a series of robberies and carjackings in the area, and these males were wearing all black and masked up. Officer Fitzgerald attempted to conduct what we call a pedestrian investigation, at which time the males fled on foot. Officer Fitzgerald notified police radio that he was in fact in foot pursuit of these 3 males. 2 of the males hid in the area. The 3rd male, Miles Pfeiffer, was still being pursued by Officer Fitzgerald onto the 1700 block of Montgomery Avenue. Now, so you understand where the 1700 block of Montgomery Avenue is, it's exactly 1 block from the 22nd Police District. We recovered video from the area, and out of respect for the family, we will not be showing that video. But the video depicts the following. Officer Fitzgerald running behind Miles Pfeiffer. Officer Fitzgerald was able to catch up Mr. Pfeiffer. Then you can hear Officer Fitzgerald say, "Go to the ground." They tussle behind an SUV, which is out of camera view. Pfeiffer then pulls out a handgun and shoots Officer Fitzgerald. You can hear the shots and see the muzzle flash. Bang, bang, bang. When Officer Fitzgerald falls to the ground, Pfeiffer then shoots the officer as he is on the ground, 3 additional shots. Bang, bang, bang. Pfeiffer then motions as if he's going to run away. He stops, he comes back to the officer, and then attempts to remove the officer's handgun, which was unsuccessful. Pfeiffer then runs to the 1800 block of Montgomery Avenue, at which time he carjacks another individual. He is heard on video camera saying, "Give me the car, I will kill you." The pedestrian in this case complied, and Pfeiffer fled in that vehicle. The vehicle was recovered at the 1900 block of North 30th Street, and the scene was processed. So I've been asked questions before. How did we develop a suspect and ultimately arrest Miles Pfeiffer within 12 hours after this incident? The answer was patrol officers, specifically Corporal Brooks, assigned to the 22nd Police District. Corporal Brooks, who was the operation room supervisor that night, as required, had her police radio on, monitoring the airways. When she heard Officer Fitzgerald was in a foot pursuit, she immediately left the building to provide whatever assistance she could provide. Corporal Brooks then heard the gunshots and observed 2 white males fleeing the area. She ordered those males to stop, they complied, and then she detained those males. When Corporal Brooks was informed that an officer was shot and he succumbed to his injury, those males were immediately transported to the homicide unit. Those males were a 16-year-old and a 17-year-old white male. While at the homicide unit, and after getting consent from their parents, the detectives interviewed those males, at which time they provided us information necessary to develop a suspect. The case was then presented to Chief Assistant District Attorney Pescatera, and she approved the arrest warrant for Miles Pfeiffer. And on Sunday, February 19th, Miles Pfeiffer was arrested and transported to the homicide unit. Pfeiffer did waive his rights, and he provided us with relevant information that ultimately led to the charges of murder of a law enforcement officer, robbery, possession of an instrument of crime, and disarming a law enforcement officer. As of now, we have not recovered the weapon used in this crime, and that's still being investigated as we speak. I just want to take time to thank the other agencies that were involved in this and assisting us in a true collaborative effort to get bring this job in. The ATF unit, Special Agent Hines, when I found out this officer was shot, Officer Fitzgerald was shot, I immediately contacted him, and he just said, "Where do you need us at?" And he was there. The United States Marshal Service, who also works hand in hand with us, they were there as well, and also Delco Police Department, SWAT team. And I would definitely be remiss if I don't include the homicide unit, who worked diligently in solving this case. And also we worked hand in hand with Temple Police.
So now you can see we've been talking about for years that there's a possibility that white people was coming into black neighborhoods and committing crimes and doing shootings at nighttime. And a lot of them would go unsolved. I'm not saying that this is fact or fiction, but this crime is very fishy, and he locked up 2 other people. But he's not the Miles Pfeiffer is not the only person that this where this has happened in Philadelphia. You have another white guy that was going around the city gunning people down, all up in the Mayfair section where it's predominantly white, all up in the northeast section of Philadelphia. Let's check this out, and then we'll come right back.
But first, that developing story, disturbing new details about the suspect just captured in one of the city's deadliest shootings in recent years. I'm Sheba Russell.
And I'm Jason Martinez. Authorities now say that suspect had a history of violence, including 2 deadly shootings in a matter of days.
Shawnette, investigators say he killed at least 4 people in less than a week.
That is what they're telling us, Sheba. The district attorney's office also says that Edwin Vargas was banned from having guns, but they say he still managed to get his hands on them. Investigators say 24-year-old Edwin Vargas is the link in several shootings in the city, carried out over the course of about a week, starting in the Harrogate section of the city on December 30th. The DA's office says Vargas made terroristic threats and fired shots to threaten his ex-girlfriend. 4 days later, on January 3rd, Philly police say Vargas shot at a car in Hunting Park, killing the 28-year-old passenger inside.
That male was shot 1 time in the left side of the head. He succumbed to his injuries.
The next day, on January 4th, prosecutors say Vargas went back to the Harrogate residence of his ex and fired shots again to terrorize and harm her. It looked like the end when Vargas was arrested January 17th, but Philadelphia police determined there was more.
Unfortunately, that arrest came 7 days too late, because prior to that, on the 9th, Edwin Vargas was part of a group that shot up 6700 block of Rolling Street, and 3 individuals end up dying.
That was in Mayfair. Police say Vargas, along with 3 other suspects who they're still looking for, got out of a car and fired at another group of men as they got out of a car. 3 between the ages of 18 and 24 died. The other was in critical condition that night. Police say surveillance video captured the shooting. The DA's office says both cars were reported stolen from Harrison Township, New Jersey. In a news conference today, Commissioner Outlaw had a message for victims' families.
We understand that no amount of justice can bring back their loved ones, but we have not, and we will not rest until all of those responsible for terrorizing our city are taken into custody.
And the district attorney's office also says that Vargas most recently was convicted and served time for aggravated assault and illegal possession of firearms. That all stemmed from an arrest back in January of 2020. Jason and Sheba.
All right, Shawnette, thank you.
So then you have Edwin Vargas, and someone try to say that he's a Latino, but he wasn't. He's a white man. He lived up there in the white section, and he killed 3 teenagers about a month ago. He shot his ex-girlfriend. He killed like 5 or 6 people within a 3-week span. Like, he was running around gunning people down all through North Philly. And this stuff goes under the radar. It's not talked about. But now, a lot of stuff, like the cameras is catching people and it's coming to light. But that first incident with Miles Pfeiffer, that was 3 white boys. They're from Buckingham Township. What they doing down the 17th of Montgomery at 7 o'clock at night in North Philly? I'm from Southwest Philly, which is my area is real bad. But I'm not going to North Philly unless I got to, let alone 17th of Montgomery. And I'm from the city. So what they doing down there? These are questions that got to be asked and got to be answered, man. That's why they making such a big deal about it. But he shot the cop in the head. When the cop fell, he shot him a couple more times, went to get the gun, but they was doing a carjacking. Huh? 3 white boys doing a carjacking in North Philly? One of the worst sections in America, not just Philadelphia. I don't know, man. People say this is an isolated incident and always about race. Everything in this country was built on race. And don't blame me, because I ain't the one that created it. I'm just speaking on it. And all you white folks that say that, y'all know darn well when you hear this type of news, it shocks you. So we all trying to figure out what was a white boy doing down there at that time, let alone committing a carjacking. So when we start to say that, maybe, just maybe, it's some truth to white people coming into our communities and committing crimes. I'm not saying it's true or false, but something looks fishy here. Leave your comments in the comment section, man. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to Street Media TV. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.